want to talk to you tonight about the financial crisis in America, with one of the leading cities that we're going to be looking at is Detroit as the forefront, is leading the way for the problem. How would it feel if you called 911 and you get a busy signal while your house is on fire? How would it feel if you had to wait for 1 hour for the police to arrive? How helpless would it feel if you had to wait for over 8 minutes for the fire department to get to you? How would it feel to call for an ambulance and there's none available? I want to tell you why our cities are inhabitable right now and why Detroit's leading it. I want to tell you, in the face of financial crisis, there are fire departments who are actually being threatened to be completely shut down in America, mainly in Detroit. In this presentation, we're going to look closer at one city in America, it's Detroit. In this closer look, we'll see what the root cause of the lack of funding is and why cities are failing today. I'm going to show you some statistics that will make your stomach turn. More importantly, I'm going to show you why we as Americans can take America back and start fixing this problem. Detroit Fire Department in the city of Detroit is a precursor to the larger cities in America. What happens when the city loses jobs, population, and then increased into a tax base. One of the biggest problems that we have is with the failing economy, so many jobs have been lost. Detroit is a prime example. In 1950, population of Detroit was 1.8 million. Right now, population's 700,000. In 1950, there was over 300,000 manufacturing jobs in the city of Detroit. Right now, there's only 25,000. The city can't survive with jobs like that. Detroit's unemployment rate, 11% higher than the national average. Right now, Detroit, as of May 2013, 16.3% unemployment rate. There's an article in a magazine called The Blaze. It's written by Mike Opelka. It gives interesting statistics about the city of Detroit. There's almost 80,000 abandoned homes in Detroit. Many of these homes used for drugs have been vandalized. These houses are left unattended, they're left unmaintained. They succumb to the house falling apart, eroding quickly. Routine maintenance is ignored. The house falls apart, brings the property values down. The lack of fire service, or the 8-minute response times, how many fires burn in the city of Detroit, has increased the average insurance bill per year by $2,000. Detroit had over 1.1 million people leave since 1950. Once the fourth largest city in America. Reason for departure, like I just showed you, the jobs. 300,000 down to 25,000 manufacturing jobs. What's happening in Detroit right now? Why is it underfunded? Used population, used jobs, used tax base. The Economic Collapse, author Michael Snyder, there's a list of 25 facts about the cities and their current status. I'm just going to give you a couple of these facts. Right now, Detroit's facing a $20 billion in debt and unfunded liabilities. $20 billion with a B. Over 100,000 creditors is what the city of Detroit owes. As of 2 weeks ago, they attempted to file Chapter 9 bankruptcy, but it was denied by the courts at this point. What this is looking for, what this will do, many of the retirees are going to get their pensions, which would be 25 cents on the dollar. A third of Detroit's land area, just inside the city limits, not the suburbs, vacant or abandoned. Only 1/3 of the ambulances are working right now. Out of 38 ambulances they have on the road, on any given day, 10 to 14 will not be working that day. Some have over 250,000, some over 300,000 miles on it. Most police stations are closed for 16 hours out of the day. Violent crime, 5 times higher. 10% of the crimes only 10% of the crimes are solved. Police are actually saying in Detroit, enter at your own risk. Why is this important to us? One very big reason. While Detroit's the most vocalized and the most obvious as to what's going on, there are many cities around America that are facing the same problem. Philadelphia, San Jose, just to name a couple. According to Eric Skorson, Michigan State University economist, the same thing is happening in Chicago, New York, San Diego, and Jose, like I just said. As a quote from Dr. Skorson, a lot of the major cities are facing the same problems, just not as high as the degree of Detroit. End quote. This is a direct reflection of these inner cities, or these cities, as to where America is actually at with our national debt. If we don't start getting a handle on the smaller problems, the bigger problem that we're ignoring right now is the national debt, America is going to be in the same boat as Detroit is. Meredith Whitney claimed a huge wave of municipal defaults in this country. She was right. The problem is, while this is happening in big cities, it's only a precursor of what's going to happen to America. We as American people, with businesses and volunteer, we need to step up to the plate, take care of our own mess. We need to take care of America. In the 2007 U.S. Census, 112 million households are in America. What if out of those 112 million households, if we each just gave 2 hours every month, this would total to 2.6 billion hours of volunteer work. And if we just contributed $10 a month with our 2 hours, that would generate $537 million. And we could clean up America. Think about this, how this is going to affect your household in the coming years. If you call 911, will the funds be there to take care of it? Are we ready to step up to the plate and clean up our own backyard?